ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknex.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
You guys want to see the special guest? We have a special guest. Big boy. Well, I don't know how long he'll stay there, but he's the special guest. Loki. See, I'll do it bigger. See? Anyway, there we go. Special guest. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to the goods. What's going on? Hello. Okay. Yeah, again, if you guys have questions, just ask questions. What big ears he has. Yeah, he has big ears. He got them old big serval ears. Yeah, this is the only time right after he eats a bunch of chicken, he'll have calmed down for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and he'll just sit there. So this is about as close as we're going to get to him without needing a on-site trauma surgeon, someone that specializes in like vascular surgery or whatever, because when that dude brings the claws out, he gets what he wants. He does what he wants. All right. So, hello. Okay, so if you have any questions, just put Q and then question, and we will get to it. All right. So quick recap. I mean, the market's kind of bounced back up. Some of you may have been watching that guy that put on these ridiculous leverage trades, the 40x leverage, and he just kept dumping more Bitcoin and more Bitcoin. So over the weekend, he had a rough go of it. I think he at his high, he was around 95 million, and I think he was around 20 the last time I checked, which again, 20 million is still great, but I think he's destroyed 70 or 75 million dollars in a few weeks. Oh, did he leave? Loki, come here, Bubba. No, that's it. That's all we get. It was a guest star. So the update on Hypercycle is, you guys know there was a X Spaces, Twitter Spaces, whatever they call it, X Spaces yesterday. So don't take my word for it. Go listen to the X Spaces that Tufi did yesterday. Because for me to just go back through that hour and a half thing would be silly. So go and listen to it. Good. I mean, everything good. That's it. That's all we know. Things are good. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, question. Walk us through how to start the IBIT trade. What day do you start? Day do you hold through the weekends? Basics. Well, it's not. I mean, I guess as a general, like a very, very basic, there again, it's you got to be careful not to distill this down to something simpler than it is. Because it's easy to do these trades. It's not simple. Like there's a lot that goes into when I exit and when I enter a position and how long I'll hold it, and a lot of it also just has to do with your kind of overall thoughts on where the market's going. But let's say that we were to just dial all that stuff out. Generally, one would sell contracts against IBIT. Matter of fact, we can even pull up the IBIT charts this morning and see what that's looking like. See if that's accurate. Yeah, it does look accurate. So the current price of IBIT, 62.13. Remember, IBIT is the BlackRock's ETF representing exposure to Bitcoin. So yeah. All right. So what one would normally do is, I think, sometime during the week, you would open up a position that would expire on a Friday. It could be this Friday. It could be next Friday. I typically open positions towards the end of the week so that I can capture the time decay that occurs over the weekend. It's just a little bit more free money. And then there you go. So when you're looking at these options contracts, part of the premium, remember, you're allowing other people the right but not the obligation to put you into the asset, to make you buy the asset. So you're doing this off of a pile of cash. You have a pile of cash, you're selling these puts, you're collecting the premium, but then it's locking up the amount of cash that would be necessary to put you in at the strike price you sold. So if you sold the $60.50 put, and at the end of next week, you sold the one that expires next week. And at the end of next week, the price is $60.49. You should expect to get put into that asset at $60.50. Does that make sense? Whatever strike you sell, it's going to lock up the amount of money necessary to make you purchase the asset at that price. You're selling insurance to other people. All right. Okay. So you got that part. So then I want to get as much time decay. I'm really just trying to harvest time decay. Pretty much it's just that simple. Like this 3-day weekend was awesome. Weekends also, because there's no trading of the underlying asset against it on the weekend, there is obviously Bitcoin trades 24/7, but there's no trading on the actual IBIT asset, or if you're doing Ethereum, ETH. So since those assets are not trading on the weekend, and in this case 3 days, just Saturday, Sunday, Monday, those days you're actually burning more. It's more time decay premium on the weekends, 1 to 2 times as much. So somewhere in the middle. So I kind of imagine about 50% more time decay premium is deteriorating through those weekends. So if you get 3 days, you got almost 5 to 6 days worth of premium whacked in that 3-day weekend. So anyway, we're selling time to somebody else who's buying time. We're selling milk that before it expires to someone who may or may not want to drink that milk at expiration. I don't know, it's weird, but it's pretty much like that. So I would be trying to get 5, 6, 7 days out of it, because the closer a contract is to expiration, right? We have contracts that expire May 30th, and the closer we get to May 30th, all of that decay, all that time decay is going to be wiped out, meaning premium is going to go away, because on Friday at the close of the market, we will know with certainty what the price is. So all of it will condense to a very few contracts that are in the money, and everything else will expire worthless, right? Because we know with certainty what the price is. We don't know with certainty, and the more uncertainty up and down, and the more time creates more premium. Uncertainty creates a certain amount of premium and time. That's why Trump's tweets, this and that, and all this kind of old crazy stuff is great for us. We love it. So eat that time decay, baby. Okay. So typically, I only go a week out so that I have a better understanding of the market, like the basic kind of the pulse of the market at that time. If you're selling stuff 2 months out, 3 months out, 6 months out, you don't know what the hell's going to happen in 6 months, 3 months. Look at all these technical analysis guys. They have all of the data from the entire history of crypto, and they can't predict with more than 33% certainty what's going to happen in the next hour. Meaning they have all of crypto's data that's ever existed, and they are worse than flipping a quarter at guessing. That's how bad technical analysis actually hamstrings you. So you can't be a chart person. You will fail. You will absolutely fail because the probabilities and statistics work against you. If you win a third of the time, you lose 2/3 of the time, you go trucking broke. That's it. But I believe if you are kind of in the space, you're reading articles, you're staying kind of current, and you're going about 1 week out, then you have just a general sense of where the market's going. But then you have tools at your disposal for when it doesn't work out. Like you can roll contracts to the next week, and you can keep rolling sideways unless the market breaks down, substantively for a long time, in which case you can roll down. You can take a contract that's in the money and you can roll a couple weeks to the side and go down a couple strike prices to kind of slowly chase down the price. Or you can just allow yourself to get put into the asset. Then you would own IBIT and you just start selling calls against it, which may be, intellectually less complex than rolling. But anyway, yeah, it's just not, unfortunately, there's no easy way to do it. I mean, there's people that they run their entire hedge fund with pretty much this strategy. Lots, like hundreds of millions, billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions. So, I mean, I guess if it was easy, everyone would do it. But on the other side of it, there's not a lot of options education that's going on out there. And most of the options education is just people gambling. Oh, do some, triple bird wing spread and all this kind of bull crap where you're guessing you're selling and then buying at the same time and trying to capture the difference. Nope. All right. Let's see. There's so many new changing acronyms of hypercycle. What's the difference between HCS and HMS? I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing one is what? Tilling as a service, and one is the management system, the management service, where they would manage all the tilling. I don't know. Again, if you guys have hypercycle specific questions that kind of don't pertain to more the investment thesis, go to the hypercycle groups and ask them. Let those admins ferry out those answers for you. Let's see, Denny. Is there a benefit to claiming ANFI before HMS is deployed? What would you do? Yeah, why not? Claim your stuff, man. Go get your stuff. Why wouldn't you go get your stuff? It's not going to make a difference one way or the other. If you're going to point it towards their management system or whatever, then you can do that whenever you want. I would claim it. I want to see it in my wallet. I want to be like, what? Look at my wallet. My wallet's fat as hell of nodes. All right. Kent, New York. That sounds cold. Even if it's warm, it sounds cold. Let's see. You sold a 63 strike for May 30th for $1.87. Let's take a look. Let's see what he did. You sold a 63 May 30th for $1.87. Okay, let me move my picture over because I'm getting in the way of this. I'm getting in the way of this action. You sold this for $1.87. Well, that means you're doing great. You're well in the money, buddy. You're about what, 80, depending on 80, 82, 83 cents, just depending on where you would get out. You could buy that back now and take some profit, my friend. That is a winning trade. That's great. But I would follow your instinct and whatever you think. Also, I would add this: you don't have to wait till things expire. It's okay to be deep in a victory and just take money off the table. You can buy these contracts back whenever you want. So, like, I was looking at some today that are like 15 cents, and I'm thinking, okay, do I think that the rest of the week, like in Ethereum's case, I'll give you an example, because it's a little bit more volatile, a little bit more wacky. This is the May 30. This is the last one in May. Okay, so this is this week. Look how all these things came down. Bang, 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 bang. And actually, you know what? I need also puts composite near the money. Let's go all. And let's get to the money. All right. So here we go. We didn't need to go this deep, but whatever. This is all this worthless crap. But we can be right around here. So you'll know I have contracts all the way along this skew. And so I'm looking here at the current bid ask, and it's 5 to 10 cents, 10 to 20, 15 to 25, 30 to 40, 50 to 60. Okay. And I can tell you that I think I was getting paid on this one $1.15, on this one 95 cents, on this one 60 cents, and both of these 50 cents. So I already put in orders to get out of these. I think around 5 cents. And I just hang those orders out there, because for me, a 90% win is a win. I'm out. Like, I'm not going to wait, because you look at the rest of the week and you say, okay, is it more likely that Ethereum just keeps going up? Maybe, but because of how volatile it is, I imagine it will come down and go up, and maybe go upper and then go downer, whatever, because it's extremely wobbly. And so I might elect to get out of some of these just to have some cash, so that if the price dropped back down, I could sell them again. So for instance, if I could get out, and again, I haven't yet, but if I could get out of this one at 5, I would. This one at 5, I would. This one at 10, I would. This one at 15 to 20, I would. I would probably stick. I wouldn't mess with my 20s. But I would look for a sell-off if I got some cash. If I got some cash on the way up or when it was sideways, I would look to sell again this week and basically double dip to be able to get another set of contracts sold. So anyway, you can kind of, within the week, you can play. You don't have to just be stuck waiting and just staring at the screen, waiting for this thing to, slowly melt down to dust. You can get out at 5 or 10 cents, and you can wait and see if the market recorrects or something like that, and you could jump back in. But anything that's 90% or better in the plus, I would just get out. Take your money off the table. What is it like? What was the line in Dust Till Dawn? Harvey Keitel asked George Clooney. He goes, "Are you too effing stupid to know when you've won?" So anyway, that's a good line. Know when you win. Would you claim Anfi before HMS? Oh yeah, we already got that. Okay. Your goal is for our contracts to expire worthless? Well, no. Our goal is to make money through time decay. And the closer something gets to expiration, then the more time decay that occurs. We're just harvesting time decay. There's going to be a lot of times where you get it wrong, you call it wrong, and the price drops back down, and Friday afternoon, the contract that you were selling is 20 cents in the money. You sold the 21s, and guess what? The price is 20, so you're a bucket, but you might have sold them for $2. And so you're still you would get put, right? Because you're a buck out. But you're like, well, wait a minute, I sold for $2. Okay, I'll just buy it back with $1. You still made 50% on that trade. That's like, you got 50% of the total put premium that was available. I almost never go to expiration on anything, because then if you do, you can't get another trade in and take advantage of the time decay over the weekend. If you get put into IBIT, can't be the worst thing if we feel that Bitcoin's going to continue to go up. Yes, correct. That would be fine. Except think about this. If you get put into IBIT, you have to wait now till Monday. In the case of this weekend, you'd have to wait till today, Tuesday, in order to sell contracts. You lost. So if you were about to get put into IBIT, I would buy the contract back, I would sell IBIT, and I would immediately write a call against it. It's called a buy right. B-U-Y right. W-R-I-T-E, like buy right. Not like buy right, bro, or buy wrong. No, buy right. And so by doing a buy right, you buy the asset and you immediately write a covered call against it, which obviously lowers your price getting into the asset. You say, well, why would you do that? Because again, you get that 2 days, at least over the weekend, 2.5 days of time decay. And we are harvesting time decay. That is all we're doing. Now, if you want to do that, something like that, and you're like, okay, but I do want to give it a little space because I think it's going up. Okay, the two ways to express that enthusiasm into a trade are either sell deep in the money puts, assuming the price is going to go up. That could be scary. Or let me go back over the IBIT chart. So like right now, let's go out a week. Well, it's Tuesday. This is fine. So if I was to do a buy right now, and I think Bitcoin's going to keep going up, I just have that gut feeling. Bitcoin's going up. I feel it. Okay. So I would buy at the current price, which is 62.38. And why didn't that? Hold on. Let me refresh. There we go. Okay. So this is now accurate. So I would buy at 62.38, and I might say, you know what? I want to leave some space in here to potentially capture some of this upside. So I would probably sell the 65 or the 66, right? You're still collecting a premium, but then you have a little space in here so that if the price of Bitcoin were to continue to move over the week and it gets to 66, 67, 68, you at least get paid $66 a share on your asset that you got into for 62.37. So you made what, $3 and $3.63 right there, plus the premium. So you're going to clear 380, somewhere 385, 386 ish, maybe 370, just depending on whatever the bid-ask spread is. But anyway, so that would capture some of that upside. That'd be a way to do it. And again, the other way to do it is to sell deep in the money puts, because as the price goes up, these puts start to extinguish. And you can see what's more valuable by just looking kind of out of the money, in the money, and seeing what those things are selling at. So like, yeah, anyway, there you go. This is in the money on the put side. This is in the money on the call side because the price is already there. And then the price is already below here. That's the way to think about it, right? So, yeah. Okay, boom. If you think Bitcoin's, I think we just covered that. But if you feel like Bitcoin's going down, well, again, that depends on by how much. You express those trades by what you feel it's going up or down, and to what degree. There's no, I don't have an answer for that. There is no cookie cutter answer. You got to say, okay, what do I think the market's going to do? And based on what I feel like the market's going to do, and the best, it's kind of like you have to kind of straddle the best balance, I guess, between mining as much time decay as you can and staying as close to the price of the market as possible. Like the best possible market would be one where the price never goes up, it never goes down, at least by the end of the week, but it goes up and down throughout the week intensely. Like Ethereum goes to 2,700 and 2,500 and 2,650 and 2,400 and 20, but ends the week at 2,550 and started the week at 2,550. That's your perfect week, which I thought, man, maybe we get that. But we woke up today and apparently Ethereum chose violence and it's up a pretty good little skosh, 4.5%. Nice little skosh. It's up a skosh. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. I've read a lot of new terms regarding you have your node factories on Ethereum. Well, you're going to get some freebies over on the Anfis, the advanced ones. So that's cool. You'll have both. And don't worry, everybody's lost now because they keep throwing new terms at us. Or not new terms for them. Maybe it's stuff they were talking about internally or behind the scenes. Either way, everybody's grappling with new stuff. Don't anybody here think like, oh, I can't get it. No one can get it. No one can get it. You just gotta just accept that there's just gonna be a lot of new terms thrown at you every day. New terms. It is what it is. So what? New terms. Let's see. This new chat is hit or miss. Well, I mean, maybe Barry. Maybe it doesn't like your messages. I don't know. I'm just saying. We don't know. There's no way to know, Barry. There's no way to know. Can't log into chat. You probably need to reset it then. Yeah. But this one, remember, the Tuesday, Thursday show is we just broadcast it straight, so you don't have to stress about it. So you can just go right to YouTube and do it. I tried to monetize the YouTube shorts. You know, the little short videos, because we cut these videos, we cut them into little clips, and then we put them out on YouTube as shorts. And I think we also, yeah, it goes on Instagram as well. Anyway, point is, I thought it would be cool to monetize just those shorts. So I have a buddy who is an influencer, and he makes as much money from the shorts as he does from his long form content, which is crazy. But I don't think we get the kind of views. I don't think people care. I don't think people care about money. Or at least, it's funny. Of all the things you should probably be obsessive about, learning about finance is one that you should be obsessive. Like, you should be obsessed to the point of like slobbering and salivating. There is nothing else that will demonstrably and materially change your life more than understanding finance, because then you can go out and get everything else. Right? Once you take money out of the equation, most everything else seems pretty achievable. There are very few problems that money doesn't solve. I mean, very few. So, and then you stack some health on top of that, man, you can do both. You can work out while you read news and articles and learn. Seems like common sense. There we go. Okay, let's see. If you feel IBIT is going up, you should sell a call right at the money. Well, no. If you feel like IBIT is going up, you should sell a call wherever is the best balance between you want to get some time decay, meaning you want to mine some premium, but you also want to capture some of the upside. So again, that's going to be a you question, Chris. It's going to be like, where do you feel like you will be able to sleep at night knowing, okay, I sold those contracts. I got that amount of premium. I'm okay if the price goes up $6 and I miss that. Or do you want to capture some of that? It's on you. That's on you. Okay. What is the relationship between IBIT and BTC? If BTC goes up by 1,000, well, it's not the dollar amount, it's the percentage. So it's a percentage. It should track percentage-wise pretty close. But I will caveat that. The thing is, Bitcoin is an asset that's traded by individuals. IBIT is an ETF that monitors the pace and direction of Bitcoin, but it is also traded by people. You could have a scenario where Bitcoin goes up, touches an all-time high, and keeps melting up. But Joe Six-Pack retail douchebag trader, which by the way is not really involved in this run. This is not a retail run. Retail traders are pretty much on the sidelines. But you can have people that get panicky and they're like, oh, we hit an all-time high, Bitcoin, free money, I'm out. And they sell. So you can have weird moments in there until the price gets recorrelated. You can have moments there where they're going in opposite directions because there's a pile of people trading this one and a pile of people trading this one, and this one is related to this one, but they're not. It's not a perfect. It's not a perfect representation of Bitcoin. So it's based on percentage, but also can get murky because humans are trading it. And if humans are trading it back and forth and there's more people selling than buying, then it doesn't matter what Bitcoin's doing. The price of IBIT's going down because people are selling it. Does that make sense? Luckily, it's so liquid that typically doesn't happen, but I'm sure there are periods where it has happened. Let's see. How can you connect your HYPC to IBIT? All right. Yes. Why don't we talk about that really quick? You guys saw that USDC. So, okay. There were all these people saying, Ripple's going to buy USDC and all this kind of stuff. I think for a lot of reasons, I think Ripple has frustrated, offended, shunned enough people where people just don't want to work with Ripple. It is what it is. Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson are scumbags. They're borderline thieves. They got caught. There's some of the few that got caught that didn't go to prison. Look at all the guys that did go to prison. These guys, I mean, they borderline deserve to be in prison, but they didn't. But anyway, they have offended or just frustrated so many people. So they were trying to buy. Everybody was talking, oh, Ripple's going to buy USDC, and then XRP is going to be no, and none of that. Even if Ripple had successfully, and matter of fact, for Ripple, that'd be a great idea because then Ripple could actually be a payment service. And I wouldn't even be a hater of that. They have deep pockets, but this is not the way it's going to go. The way it is going to go is that Circle, USDC issuer Circle, is targeting 624 million in a New York Stock Exchange IPO. The ticker is going to be CRCL. Circle. The fintech firm plans to offer 9.6 million shares of Class A common stock, while selling shareholders will offer an additional 14.4 million shares, meaning early investors, this is their exit. So it's going to be, there's about 50% extra coming from early investors. So that's what that is. The company rejected, meaning told Ripple, F you, go Ripple yourself, a $4 to $5 billion acquisition offer, opting to move forward independently. I think Circle knew that if they partnered with Ripple, it would be bad. It's kind of like, yeah, we can take this money, but we might end up killing our project. I'm not sure that was, I'm not sure that's the case, but Ripple does have a pretty bad name now. It's funny, they were the future. Ripple's the future. XRP is the future. And now it's like, XRP. Ripple is to finance what ASI is to AI tokens. No, my friend. Anyway, Circle seems to be expanding globally, securing regulatory approval in Abu Dhabi and launching more partnerships. The company behind the USDC stablecoin has launched its initial public offering, aiming to raise as much as $624 million on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol Circle. The fintech firm plans to offer 9.6 million Class A shares, while the sellers, early investors, they're going to pump out an additional 14.4 million shares. The IPO is priced between $24 and $26 per share, with the underwriters granted a 30-day option to purchase up to 3.6 million additional shares to cover over allotments. If fully exercised, the offering would total 27.6 million shares, again, in and around the price of 24 to 26 bucks. I mean, I don't know. I guess as an investment, I don't know why one would do it. You can't look, these stablecoin issuers, they make a little bit of money in fees. That's good, but they mostly make their money managing the money that's behind the money. Meaning, if you're a stablecoin issuer, you take in 10 bucks. You then issue 10 stable bucks. You take your 10 actual bucks and you have to park that somewhere. And based on the new Genius Act and things like that, at least half of that's going to be U.S. Treasury debt, Treasury securities. So likely short-term on-the-run treasuries. And you probably sell some a little bit further out, but you don't want to go too far out because you can have a maturity mismatch. You can get screwed if people come back to redeem their 10 bucks and you sold 30-year paper on your 10 bucks. Your 10 bucks is stuck. And in unwinding those, depending on where the yield curve is at the time, could cost you. Meaning you couldn't give people back their 10 bucks, but you have to. So it's more likely that, okay, we're not talking about Tether because Tether's a counterfeiting machine that doesn't have crap behind it, but a real stablecoin issuer. So you got your 10 bucks. That 10 bucks is deployed into either cash equivalents, hopefully no corporate paper because that's very risky. Hopefully it's treasury securities, short-term on-the-run treasury securities. Safe cash, liquid, with the good faith and credit of the US of A. Anyway, so that's how you do it. And so you make that's your return that you make on a bigger pile of money, more stable coin out there, makes more money. And then you're making little fees here and there, moving the token around. Very, very minimal fees. Can't be too much because you got to keep a dollar has to be a dollar, right? Okay, great. So I don't know that it makes sense. I don't know that investing in a stable coin yet makes sense. We don't know who the winner is. I think at some point maybe you would look at that and say, hey, I'd rather invest in this money transmitter Ripple not Ripple. Ripple. They don't move money. This money transmitter stablecoin giant Circle. But with the Genius Act comes the rules that all these companies will be able to follow and adhere to launch their own stable coins. So if that's the case, then there's going to be a lot of other competitors. So I just don't know why anybody would invest in this. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what kind of return you could probably get, but I can't imagine it being great, anything more than just treasury securities. Like, why wouldn't you? Anyway, whatever. Oh, okay, real quick. Public service announcement. If you guys are ever on a website or you're ever at, say, a lending platform and you want to borrow against this and that and do all sorts of shenanigans, you guys know not to ever disclose your private keys or passphrase. You guys get that? Yes? There is no scenario ever. I want you to write in the chat. Everybody here. There is no scenario ever where you will disclose your private keys or passphrase. Write it. There is no scenario ever where I will disclose my private keys or passphrase. Ever. Ever. So there. Ooh, this is delicious. Which one was it? I read it and I was like, this is the one. Oh, yeah. Glazed chocolate donut. Am I right? Kitties didn't get excited about that, but they should have, because it's great. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Never disclose. Yes, there is no. Yes, see, Stephanie nailed it. There is no scenario ever where I will disclose my private keys or passphrase. I guess we have to keep saying it because it keeps happening, and we get the emails, and it's very frustrating. And there's nothing we can do. If you reach out to me and Brandon and say, "Hey, I gave someone my private keys and passphrase," you gave them all your stuff. You just gave them your wallet. You just gave them all your shit. Poof. Very frustrating. Tough lesson to learn. There is no scenario where I would ever disclose my private keys or passphrase ever. Ever. You guys got to lock this in, man. Yeah. Watch The Beekeeper. God, that was heartbreaking. Even though she's an actress, and I know she's got money, she got paid for the acting gig, but I still felt sorry for her. I still want to send her some money, like $5 or $10. Yeah, it's very frustrating. It's very sad. Anyway, okay, so several oddly diversity-focused investment firms will participate as junior co-managers. Circle's filing with the U.S. SEC is still pending effectiveness. Therefore, the offering remains subject to market conditions and regulatory approval. The company had previously attempted to go public via a SPAC deal with Concord Acquisition in 2021, but the agreement was mutually terminated in 2022. Good. SPACs are garbage. Chamath Palihapitiya, garbage. That guy is a scumbag. And now he just goes around on the circuit telling people how to invest. Mother effer, he didn't invest in anything. He had Bitcoin. He got lucky, and he got gifted a bunch of money. He goes and acts like he knows what he's doing. That guy's such a tool. Anyway, good for him. Hey, I guess it's better to be lucky than right. Anyway, since then, Circle's continued to position itself as a central figure in dollar-backed stablecoin infrastructure, with USDC currently holding a market cap of over $32 billion. And that's real. That's actual real $32 billion because they have money behind it, unlike Tether that has, as far as we can tell, mostly nothing behind it. I mean, now it's got more because now they know everybody's watching, so they have to actually buy, but when you have these weeks where they print up, 185 billion Tether over on the Tron network, you know that there is nothing behind it. Not a single trucking dollar. Nothing. It is all funny money. It's all ghost tickets. Anyway, if successful, Circle's IPO would mark one of the largest public offerings by a crypto-focused firm since Coinbase's 2021 listing. And of course, and thankfully, Circle rejected Ripple's $4 to $5 billion deal. The bid was considered too low as Circle remained committed to pursuing its own path forward through a public offering. Good. Separately, Circle secured in-principle approval from the Abu Dhabi Financial Services Regulatory Authority, the ADFSRA, ADFRSA, to operate as a money services business in the region. The milestone came following its recent incorporation into the UAE and expansion of their regulatory footprint in the Middle East. They also partner with Hub 71, which is a government-backed tech hub in Abu Dhabi. And the collaboration will allow Circle to test its stablecoin offering, including USDC and EURC, which is the euro, Circle euro, with a local regulatory sandbox, within a regulatory sandbox, as competition in the stablecoin space seems to be intensifying. Interesting. So there we go. That's what we got on that. Would you invest? No. Nope. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know that they can make that much money. I mean, if you're locked into your profit mostly being the assets that are backing the stablecoin, I just don't know that there's that much money there. You can say, well, we've grown. It'll be like we've grown this much, and so there's new money, and that would translate into some investor psychology, but I don't know. Maybe there's a dividend paid on growth or something. I really just don't know how that thing. I mean, it's great for the people that are there. And for the early investors, they're getting a nice exit. I don't know what the investors get at 24, 25 bucks, 26 bucks a share. I don't know. Let's see. And would I invest? Yeah, but not today. I'm not going to go. That's behind the wall stuff, Kurt. So behind the wall, we would go through and say what we think are trades and what we think are investments. But that would be a little bit too specific for the general audience today. Would not be apropos. Okay. Where's a stable coin going? What do you mean? What do you mean, Howard? Like as far as like the price? What say you? It will be a bank of sorts. Yeah, it could. But I think it's a lot easier for exchanges to turn into banks than it is for a stable coin issuer to turn into a bank. Also, remember that big banks are going to issue their own stable assets. I mean, if JP Morgan Chase wanted to, they could tonight launch a coin and it would be a stable coin, and it would be, they could back it by, I mean, they would repledge and rehypothecate a bunch of bullcrap, but they could back it by more reserves than any of the current stable coins because they're bigger. So could BlackRock. And don't think that they're not all thinking it. So when this Genius Act, when this Genius Act bullies through, you're going to see a flood of money come into this space. Now, it's not all heading towards Bitcoin, but some of it will get there and some of it will get to Ethereum. But specifically, this Genius Act is it's gonna put a big push for Treasury ownership, because you have to own 50% of your collateral has to be cash equivalents, 50% U.S. Treasuries. It's a lot. So that could be that could be potentially over $1 trillion pointed at treasuries. It'd be a big deal. So anyway, you can see why the government's okay with it. They're like, look at these jokers will come in and just support the treasury ecosystem. Which again, if you have a bunch of people buying, if there becomes this biased buyer, I mean, this would be the real Fed, wouldn't it? Because let's say a stablecoin issuer came in and bought up a stablecoin issuer with $1 trillion. I mean, again, and so they bought $500 billion worth of treasuries. Well, that'd be a better QE than QE, because that's actually purchasing treasuries. Unlike when the Fed does it, where they just swap out banks for their treasuries, which the banks can no longer pledge into repo and earn extra additional income on it. So pretty interesting, right? Anyway, interesting times. Let's see. Daughter loves your show, but she's nearly deaf, so she uses closed caption, but today it's unavailable. Oh, no, I don't have control over closed captioning. I can look and see, but that's probably a YouTube thing. YouTube is supposed to do all of the closed captioning when it broadcasts. It may have to process and be after the fact. So yeah, well, give her some kudos. Give her the kudos. Let's see. When you do portfolio review Q&A with you, yes, of course, we can do that tomorrow. Yeah, I like Circle. I like Jeremy Allaire. I like all those guys. They got caught in a little bit of shenanigans, but it wasn't shenanigans based on what backs the USDC. USDT, fellas, there's nothing behind it. There is nothing behind USDT. I'm telling you this. Some will listen, some will not. That thing is smoke and mirrors and dust. It's probably 50, 60% backed. Except over on Tron, where it isn't even 1% backed. See, this is the thing. These dudes print money out of thin air. They've all but admitted it. Tether already said we're not gonna pass MiCA regulations in Europe. We're gonna opt out of Europe, and we're gonna opt out of the United States and create another stable coin for the United States, because our current stable coin can't pass the current requirements of the Genius Act. He openly admitted they don't have money, that it's a scam. He admitted it to the whole world, like that thing should be trading at 14 cents right now. Tether is such a scam. Anyway, God. Okay. Let's see. I consider Bitcoin as an investment. Everything else is a trade. It depends on your risk appetite, time duration, position size. Yeah. I think to a degree, I look at Ethereum as an investment too. But yeah, for sure. To me, Bitcoin is a store of value. Over time, it's a store of value, right? It's a deflation and uncertainty hedge. Well, it's a debasement and deflation and uncertainty hedge. It's just a hedge against chaos. Yeah, but number keep going up. That's the Bitcoin for you. Bitcoin. Remember those two brothers? Whatever happened to them? Do you see an altcoin season, or we're going to see institutional investment? Both. We're going to see institutional investment, and we're going to see a lot of people going out on the risk curve. People look at Bitcoin and they say, I missed it. FIAMO, fear I already missed out. I missed it. Forget it. Okay. Ethereum, I don't know, man. $2,600. I missed it. Okay. Well, let's go down further. What's it? Ripple? Nope. Scumbags. Okay. Cardano? Nope. Scumbag. Crybaby. Okay. Sui. Yes, Sui's the next. The next Solana. Yeah. And now a bunch of institutional players are coming out and saying that Solana looks like, I think Standard Chartered came out and said that they fear that Solana was a one-trick pony, and that the dying meme coin market was it. That was their chance to shine, and that there's not much left in the tank. And I don't know that that's the case. The Hodge twins, yes, those guys are awesome. Yeah, I don't know that that's the case with Solana. I don't think Solana's dead, but I don't know. I mean, meme coins are going to be around to some extent forever because gamblers going to gamble. People are going to gamble. I mean, that's it. And they're going to do it with very little financial IQ. And if they win, they'll give it all back. That's just the way it is. Fools and their money. They always give it back. It's almost depressing. It is depressing. You hate to see people make a lot of money and then give it all back through stupidity or degenerate gambling habits. But you see it. We're watching it with this one guy. He just gives it all back. Anyway, okay, Sui. I think Sui is probably one of the ones that gets super hyped. Sui for the win. Yeah, Sui. When I say that, my phone thinks I'm saying the other one. The one that listens. Anyway, hype, nope. XLM, nope. I don't know. Beyond that, I'm not sure. I think maybe Aptos to a degree would grab some enthusiasm because of Sui. Ondo, yes. Ondo is a potential yes, but it's not very exciting. It's just kind of I think it could end up being a kind of it could be like a financial infrastructure play. But that being said, that what's the likelihood of it really doing a lot? I don't know. I don't know that it's ever going to be like a $10 asset. It depends, Fetch, that's probably a no. I mean, it's the only really AI play, but it's people are on to the fact that it's kind of a trash play right now. So I just don't think it's going to get that much love. Algorand, I doubt it. Filecoin is a maybe. I don't know. It's tricky. Coins have not been launching well. Jupiter should be twice the price. Tokens have not been launching well. I think there is kind of a general, what would you say, where a lot of people that I think in the past would have been looking for altcoins, the next big altcoin, I think a lot of them have kind of, they have they have come to terms with the idea that Bitcoin is probably the only 100% safe asset. And nothing's 100%, but mostly 100% safe asset. And then everything else is a gamble. I think maybe a lot of people have come to terms with that. Not new investors, but remember, the move that we've seen lately has not been new investors. Joe Sixpack is on the sidelines. And no one knows when. No one knows when. Sorry, Joseph. No one knows when. Do you think Solana needs to be relevant for Jupiter to succeed? No, Jupiter's doing all sorts of cool stuff. And, these protocols will always find different use cases. Somebody somewhere will go build something and like, oh, it works really good over here, or it works really good over there, or it works really good across a lot of networks. I mean, I don't think the meme coin phase is going to come back as extreme as it has in the past. But look, even go back to COVID time, there was still there was Shiba and there was Doge and all these kind of stupid ass tokens that have no value, none, but they have a price, right? So people trade them and people gamble them. And I think gambling will always have a place in most investment. So I think Solana will probably do fine. As long as you don't need a network with 100% uptime and you don't care that everyone in the ecosystem is mostly corrupt. As long as you're okay with that, I think Solana is fine. And therefore Jupiter. And Jupiter will do stuff that's not Solana based. I mean, Jupiter will, I think, open up some kind of multi-chain functionality in a lot of what they're doing at some point. That's my guess. I don't think they want to be tethered to Solana forever either. I think they'd love to be multi-chain, multi-asset. Let's see. I hear you and Brandon getting a loan against your ETH, i.e. a HELOC, and then buying ETH. No. You heard part of it. I took a loan against my ETH to fund my options account. So borrowed on Morpho against wrap stake Ethereum, punted that out in terms of USDC, took the USDC, converted it to USD, pushed it over to Morgan Stanley, E-Trade, and sell options against it. Sell options against ETH and IBIT. So yes. So yeah, that's how that is. But yeah, I didn't borrow money from anybody to get my Ethereum. I don't borrow to invest. But if you're going to let me borrow from myself and basically double, like add 50% to my spending potential and then sell options against the stuff I own so that a bunch of degens can buy it and gamble, well, sir, that right there is a deal I will take you up on. As a matter of fact, I will take me up on. I owe me one. Anyway, yeah, let's see. I borrowed against Bitcoin. I borrowed against Ethereum. I borrowed against Sui. Yeah. So that's why that account has what it has in it. And that's why it churns what it churns, which is nice. I'm a big fan of money. Always have been. Even when I was back when I was a kid, people would say that kid right there, that kid likes money. And I'd be like, yep. You know what has two thumbs and likes money? This guy right here. Anyway, yeah, I mean, what Jupiter has built and is building are valuable tools that could be deployed along a lot of networks. So I'm not worried about Jupiter. The near term, it looks sloppy, but I haven't sold any. I kept adding. Now let's see. I think where my last purchase was 36 cents. Can you believe 36 cents? Holy crap! That was only a few months ago. 36. So if it got to 72 cents, oh well, it wouldn't get there before. Let's see, before the end of June. 72 before the end of June. I guess it could. Anyway, I'd have to see. I want to get that staking. I love me some staking, man. Yeah, I love me some staking. I don't have to call the pest control guys today. I don't. All right. Okay. I think that's it. I think we pretty much covered it. So, we will see you again tomorrow. Brandon will be back. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything my poor insolvent drunk, struggling on meth grandmother or Brandon wouldn't do. There's very little. And on that note, I'll bid you a fond adieu.
Killing time, no place to go. Everybody's feeling low. All alone in the street like glow. You fall into your head. It's all that you want. It's all that you need. Take some time to make believe. It's all that you want. It's all that you need. Just some time to make believe. It's all that you want. Time, no place to go. Everybody's feeling low. All alone in the street like glow. You fall into your head. It's all that you want. It's all that you need. Take some time to make believe. It's all that you want. It's all that you need. Just some time to make believe. It's all that you want. It's all that you want. It's all that you want.